Today, can you participants kindly answer my question? Yes. So here, these are the first three subheadings of teaching aptitude. The other four is also very easy. Okay, so let me touch upon the basic concepts and so on in this under that comes under these subheadings, and for the last 15 or 20 minutes we will be discussing the previous year question paper. Okay, the previous year question papers are also very important. Yes. So let's dive into the topic. What is teaching? Teaching is a very noble profession, right? It makes teachers are people who mold young minds and souls and transform them into noble citizens. Okay, so this is teaching, and the concept is very simple. It is a kind of communication that takes place between a learner and the people and a person who is teaching a particular field of study. Okay, so that is the thing, and it can be, so we have many things that is involved in teaching. We have resources, resource materials, and then we have goals, a specific goal. A teacher should have a specific goal as well as the student too. Okay, and then we have skills. There are skills involved in this. Yes. So the objectives of teaching, the concept is very simple. When you come on to the objectives, there are four primary objectives. Okay, students, kindly please take notes. So the main or specific objectives of teaching are developing critical thinking. So that is the main objective, one of the main objectives of teaching. Okay, and developing critical thinking and enriching or enhancing the knowledge level, and to acquaint the student with the subject content. So they have to get familiar with the subject content. So if I am teaching you literature, you have to become familiar with that literature content. If I am teaching you commerce, you have to be acquainted with the commerce subject. Okay, that is the specific objectives. So the first one is critical and logical thinking. The second one, it should be you have to understand the knowledge knowledge enrichment and the acquaintance with the subject content of the subject. Okay, then we have the levels of teaching. There are three levels of teaching. So memory level, understanding level, and reflective level. So we are going to learn each level one by one. Memory level is nothing but it includes, as the name suggests, it includes memory. Okay, so it comes under this rote learning and all. Just you will be given, a teacher will give factual information to the students, and the students will take it up to their memory. For example, we could have studied tables, right, in our early school days. So these are all memory level. Okay, so memory level teaching, in this memory level teaching, we don't have any kind of thoughtful process. It is very much, we don't even have the space to think something out of the box in this memory level. So what the teacher tells, you just by heart it, and you just gain the knowledge, the additional knowledge, facts, just facts. Okay, so in memory level there are three things that involves. The first one is recalling, recognition, and retention. Let me put it in the chat box. Recalling, recognition, and retention. For memory level, it includes memory. It is giving factual information to the memory. So this is the key word for memory level understanding. Okay. Okay, there is no way to think. And then we have this understanding level. While we talk about understanding level, we understand a particular subject, okay? We understand a particular subject through a kind of scheduled or planned learning. You have a plan, okay? You just go by the plan. Therefore, you just have a understanding level of learning. For example, let us imagine that we are in a grammar class, okay? So if you want get acquainted with grammar, what will the English teacher do? He or she will have a plan, right? So they are having a plan and they just involve a kind of, they give presentation or they give activities and they will make you do some activities so that you just understand the concept, grammar concept, and apply. So this is called understanding level. So there are some steps that are involved in understanding level. Let me put it in the chat box. They are exploration level. They are exploration. It is not level. They are exploration, presentation. These are the things that are involved in understanding level of teaching. You explore, present, and assimilation. Organization and recitation. Okay, so in a subject you explore something, you present. Assimilation is nothing but you just go on with that. Okay, that is assimilation, and then you organize something and you just get, okay, this is what, this is how you understand, and then you just recall what you understood and so on. So that is recitation. These are the 5 things that are involved in this understanding level of teaching. So this recitation, it happens through either through oral presentation or in a form of written paper. That is, you write exams, right? So that is recitation through a form of written paper or written thing. So that is recitation. So let us move on to the next level of teaching. So far, do you understand what I taught you? Hello, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for responding. Okay. In reflective level, we have 2 phases. Okay. So in reflective level, you have the 2 phases of problem raising and problem solving. You memorized, you understood something, and now you raise a problem and you solve, you find out a solution for that. Okay, so the 2 phases of reflective level are problem raising and problem solving. So usually this learning and teaching process should be a reflective level. Okay, it is not, it is a reflective level, no, you just critically examine a problem or idea and you just find a solution. For example, let us imagine that in our society we have some kind of problem like water scarcity or people suffering from all kinds of diseases and so on. So this is a problem. You raise a question and you just reflect what you study and you just apply what you learned to get a solution out of that. Okay, so this is called reflective level of teaching. So these are the 3 levels of teaching, and then we have different types of teaching. So some teachers, they just like they like different kinds of teachers. As there are many teachers, we also have different types of teaching. Okay, so let us go one by one. The first method I have to tell is direct method. So direct method is nothing but they just give a lecture or demonstration, or they have face-to-face interaction. So now we are teaching this in a direct method. Okay, so they teach this. So for example, if I am a teacher, I teach you, you take it directly. So this is direct method, and they also sometimes this direct method, it involves projects, assignments, okay, and also other activities in direct method. Usually they use this lectures and demonstrations, and we have indirect method. Indirect method, no, it involves this role play and so on. So you don't even know that you are learning that, but after a task or after an activity, after the role play, you will understand that concept. So that kind of teaching method is called indirect method. Okay, so then we have another one type called vertical teaching method. So vertical method is nothing but the teacher will lead the students into a topic. Okay, so that is called, for example, if I am taking, do all the student participants in this group belong to English stream? Hello? Do you belong to different majors? Okay. So let me give one example. Okay, so I just want you to, I'm just going to teach Indian history for you. Okay, so if so, what I will do, I just teach you Indian history. I will dive deep into it. I will tell about all the leaders and so on. So that is called vertical method. Okay, so we also have horizontal method. So diving deep into one particular subject is called vertical method, and this horizontal method is nothing but, so I will just give you one topic. Okay, so we will teach Indian history, and then I will teach British history, and then I will teach each nation's history. So that I'm touching on it. I'm not going into deep, but I'm touching on it, and I'm just going to the other one. So that is called horizontal method of teaching. Okay, so then we have an interesting thing, planned teaching and unplanned teaching. Okay, so usually teachers will have a lesson plan. Whenever a teacher enters into a class, the teacher will have in her or his mind what to teach and how am I going to spend the next 1 hour or 2 hours with the students, what and all the concepts I'm going to teach and all. So this is one kind of teaching, that is planned teaching. Okay, but we also have unplanned teaching. What happens in this unplanned teaching is nothing but, this kind of teaching is very much in practice in the active learning methods. So sometimes the student doesn't know what the teacher doesn't know what the student is interested of. So let us imagine that I have planned that I have to teach Indian history to you, but imagine that you are a class and it is 1 o'clock, you have finished your lunch just now and you are sitting. So I think that, okay, if I teach Indian history, the children may doze off, and I just make you active. I give you some tasks and I make you learn something. This is unplanned. Okay, so I just came with an idea of giving a lecture, but your faces made me to give a task, activity, and teach you the same. So this kind of teaching is called unplanned teaching. So these are the basic things. Teaching aptitude is a very interesting and very easy unit that you can easily score full marks. Okay, so next we shall move on to the components of teaching. Can anybody guess what are the if you want to teach, what are the components you need? Can you guess, anybody? For a teaching to take place, Students, participants, kindly, you are aspirants. Yes, materials, very good. Study material, right? Okay, study material. Apart from that, what are all the things you need? Okay, study material is, let us use a professional term for study material. Very good, Guru Lata. The curriculum. Okay, study material is professionally, let us be professional. You say it is the curriculum. Okay, so the curriculum. Okay, we have the curriculum. Then, okay, let us imagine this classroom. I am teaching, right? For teaching, if I want to teach, who should be there? Obviously, the students, right? Imagine a class where you have the curriculum, the students, but not the teacher. That is not the class. So, the components of teaching are just three. You have teacher, students, and the curriculum. Got it? So these are the three things three components of teaching. Okay, now we have a better classroom communication too. So for a classroom communication to be more effective, you have to be focused. There are we have to focus on two sides, both the student side and also the teacher's side. Okay, so for the student side, the student has to be enthusiastic enough to learn the subject. We should not be biased, both the teacher and the student. The teacher should not in any case, in the sake of caste, religion, creed or language, should not discriminate any student. At the same time, it is also reciprocal, right? The student should also not be partial with the teachers. And then there are many factors that affect the teaching. Some of the factors are we don't proper environment. We should have proper environment. The teachers should be paid good salary. Okay, so these are the things we have to concentrate. Yes. Sir, can you share the PDF? You just go through what we learned so far. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Now you are going to answer these questions. Shall we start, guys?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Could you please come again with the horizontal method?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. So horizontal method is nothing but, let us imagine a situation. If I am teaching you Indian history in a very deep manner, like I will go to the top to the bottom level, I will just teach you each and every nook and corner of the Indian history, that is called vertical teaching. Okay, imagine that you just dig a hole on the ground. So you just go vertical. The exact opposite to this kind of teaching is horizontal level. So that level, it will not be very deep. I will be teaching you Indian history, French history, English history, Russian history in a very small level. I will not get into very deep, but I will just touch upon many levels in a shallow manner. That is called horizontal level of teaching. Am I clear, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So let's work on the questions. The main aim of teaching is, you just try answering the questions. So the main aim of teaching, so we have to develop only reasoning, to develop up only thinking, both A and B? You
Both
can just,
A and B.
yeah, very good. Both A and B is the right answer. Yes, the next question. Which one of the following is not included in the process of teaching? We have instruction, stipulation, training, change in values.
Change in values.
No, actually, here the process of teaching is it refers to a teacher. It is not only instruction is not included in the process of teaching. Okay, for example, change in value. Okay, let us imagine we have an ethics class or moral science class, moral values class, value based education. So before coming to the class, you may be a person who doesn't help your mother in the kitchen. But after coming to the class, I tell you a story, and the moral of the story is to help your parents whenever and wherever you can. After that, you become changed person. So there is change in values that is involved in. So the process of teaching consists of instruction, but in the process, no, the making of a teacher, the making of students, instruction has to be eliminated. You got my point?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So the next question, in order to understand its student lecture, in order to understand a student, a lecture should have which of the following? Child psychology, indication towards understanding the children, opinion of the student towards the subject matter, all of the choices. So if you want to understand a student, okay, what kind of lecture you should attend? I think it would be better if you just turn on your mic and give me the answer. It is very easy, I guess.
All of the choices.
Very good. All of the choices is the right answer, because student we have to learn first learn child psychology, because some students know since their childhood they could have undergone many trauma, or they could have seen their parents fighting or something. So we have to learn child psychology. We have to learn how the understanding towards the children and everything. Okay. Yes. The next thing, the practical process of imparting education is. So what is the practical process? So if you are imparting education, what can you expect? So that is the thing. When imparting education is done on a regular basis, what can you accept? What can you expect?
Option A.
Yeah, very good. That is fine. That is good. Next question. I think let us move from the last. Okay. Sir, can you scroll down to the, it was numbered 35th. Yes, sir. Thank you. So you just see the 35th question. It was asked in June 2019. Inclusive education implies. So inclusive education is nothing but you include everybody, or you include. Okay. So nothing is excluded. So that is the meaning of this inclusive education. So in this inclusive education, you just ensure that each and everybody have equal rights and equal opportunity to study a particular thing. Okay, that is inclusive education. Yes, what would be the answer for this? Ensuring learning outcome of every child to be the same, including the disabled in the mainstream, provides compulsory education for children below 14 years, ensuring that no child is left behind in education. Can I give the answer? Okay, so let me give the answer. The answer is ensuring that no child is left behind in education. Okay, so here you can't choose the first three options because inclusive in the sense not only it involves the disabled, right, but financially weaker sections and everything. Okay, so that is the so next you just move on to the 29th question. You see the 29th question. From the list of the effective teaching behaviors, identify those which are called key behaviors. So we have a direct, audible and oral delivery to all students, encouraging students to elaborate on an answer, warm and nurturing relationship with learners, and varying modes of so you have some 6 options here. You have to choose from this. So what do you think that it is the key behavior of effective teaching? Okay, let me explain this. Okay, so the key behaviors of a teacher or teaching behavior is you have to have the lesson clarity. Imagine that if I am teaching you teaching aptitude, but I didn't know anything about teaching aptitude, that is not a very effective teaching behavior. So you have to have this lesson clarity. Okay, so if you have lesson clarity, what will follow is direct, audible, oral delivery. Okay, and then you have instructional variety. So what do you mean by instructional variety is, so we have this, there should be a lot of varying modes of presentation. You should not think that, oh, if Sharon ma'am comes, she will always lecturing. She doesn't know how to kindle interest in us. You should not think like that. One day if a teacher lectures, the next day she should involve us in an activity or something that kindles some interest in us. Okay, so here varying modes of presentation, that is right. And then you have this 5th one, preventing misbehavior with a minimum of class disruption. So key behavior of a teacher, she or he should prevent students. So how can a teacher prevent students from misbehaving is, he or she should involve them in the active learning process. When all the students are actively learning in the class, they will never misbehave. Okay, so the answer will be option A. 1. 4 and 5. Let me explain the other options too. We have the second one, right? Encouraging students to elaborate on an answer. This answer should be eliminated. Why? Because you see, you ask me a question. Imagine that you are the teacher and I am a student. You ask me a question, I answer it. Okay? If you ask me to elaborate on it, I know or I may not know. If I didn't know, what will I do? The next time when you ask the question, I will bluntly say that, ma'am, I don't know, ma'am, and I will sit. Okay, so that is, you should just encourage them. You should not ask them or stress them to elaborate on an answer. So the second one is not an effective key behavior of teaching. And then you have this sixth one, organizing what is to come and summarizing what has gone before. So that is not a key behavior. That is good, but that is not a key behavior. Okay, yes. Next. One another key behavior I have to mention to you is the success of students' rate. Student success rate. So if there are 20 students studying in our class, at least there should be, the success rate should be at least 17 to 18. Okay. So the success rate of the student defines the efficiency of the teacher. Yes. Next question. We have this 28th question. Reflective practice implies use of once. Okay. Reflective practice. Let me define what is reflective practice. Okay. Reflective practice is nothing but I will assess a person's let us imagine that I am a teacher. Okay. So I just want to know what you are thinking. Okay. So I just give you what you are thinking or some personal development. For example, in most of the English classes, especially when you go for spoken English or something, in speaking exercise, they will give you a very interesting topics, like they will tell you what is the memorable day in your life. So when they ask that, what will you do? You just reflect, right? You just think of something, a personal thing. You just reflect your own thoughts. They will just ask in spoken English classes. They will ask, what is your favorite color? Why? So you just think of yourself, your thoughts and actions for the purpose. You are learning. For a personal learning, you just do all these things. So this is called reflective practice. Okay. So because of this reflective practice, metacognition, that is, it uses metacognition. Let me imagine what is metacognition. Metacognition is nothing but understanding a person's cognitive performance. Cognitive performance is how they are learning, how they imbibe something, how they acquire knowledge, and so on. All these things. Is this clear, students?
Ma'am, can you please come again?
Yeah. So, let me explain reflective practice first. Okay, reflective practice is nothing but making a student to learn from his own thoughts and actions. That is called reflective practice. For example, if I am teaching simple present tense to you, okay, I just give the rules and I will ask you to describe your morning routine. Because the morning routine, you will definitely be telling it in simple present tense. Okay, so what the student or learner will do, they will reflect on their thoughts and action, what they did in the morning. Okay, so this is called reflective practice. So this reflective practice, it uses what? A person's metacognition. So the meaning of metacognition is the awareness of what a person is doing, okay, what a person is understanding, and so on. Cognition is somewhat related with knowledge, okay. Is it clear, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, learning objectives mean. We have learning experience, concise outcomes, academic achievement, intended learning outcomes. What could be the possible answer? Learning objectives mean it is intended learning outcomes. Okay, so that is learning objectives. Option D is the right answer. Then, #26. Yeah. Which of the following statements best explains the concept of team teaching? So, team teaching is nothing but we could have experienced this in our college days. Okay, so here what they will do is many faculty members will handle one paper. Okay, so that is team teaching. Okay, so you just choose what would be the best thing here. Option here.
Option C.
The concept is the same. Yes, very good. Option C is the right answer. Okay? Yes. Next. So, this option we can't choose option B because option B they have included a word called plan and teach together. Together means at the same time they will be teaching. So that should not be chosen. That should be eliminated. Option C is right. Very good. Next. Come on to the 25th question. Which among the following bases can be counted to judge the effectiveness of teaching? So, marks obtained by students in overall subjects, level of realization of instructional objectives, time taken by the students to learn, resources used by the teacher in teaching, regularity of students in class. Okay, when you are posed with such question and you are given a lot of options, we may think that all the options are suitably correct. Okay, we will have a kind of dilemma what to choose and so on. At that time, what you have to do is you just eliminate. Okay, you just eliminate the unsuitable choice or unsuitable option so that you can get into a very good and correct answer. For effectiveness of teaching, what is irrelevant in this option? Can you tell me?
Option 2.
Okay. Option 2. Okay. Option 2 is relevant. Relevant, ma'am, because level of realization of instructional objectives. So if I am instructing you something, okay, you are giving the options. Okay, so the question is which can be counted as the effectiveness of teaching. So option B, if you have chosen option B, there we have 1, 2, 4. So 4 is definitely right, because the kind of resources a teacher uses in teaching will definitely have some, it defines the effectiveness of teaching. But 1 is, I don't think 1 is right, because you see, I'm handling English for you. Okay. But my efficiency, my effectiveness of teaching will not be determined by what marks you have scored in maths, right? That absolutely, the marks obtained in overall subjects by a student will absolutely decide the learning capacity or learning interest of the student. So option B. Okay, you got my point.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, you told me to eliminate the negative options, right? That's why I eliminated the option 2, level of realization of instructional objectives.
Okay. But that is not right, I guess, because you see, level of realization of instructional objectives is, it is nothing but if I'm teaching, I'm instructing something, right? I can't instruct a 10th standard syllabus to a 3rd standard kid. So that is level of realization of instructional objectives. Can you get my point, Mercy?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So in that case, option D is the right answer. Okay. So option D is the right answer, because the level of realization of instructional objectives, it definitely have an impact in teaching efficiency. Then you have option 3, time taken by the students to learn. That also. Then the 4th one, resources used by the teacher in teaching. We eliminate regularity of students in a class, because a teacher's efficiency does not define the regularity of students in the class, because students in the class may be regular for some other reason. Maybe they have to have fun with their friends, or they don't want to be in their house. They want to be have a peaceful time in the college. Okay. So the regularity of students in class doesn't define the teaching efficiency. Yes. The previous question, 24th. Which of the following statements explains the concepts of inclusive teaching? And one thing I have to tell you is, in teaching aptitude, you just work out on previous year questions. Okay. Here I have given some 30 questions for you, all the questions. Okay. So here you can see that many questions will be repeated. No, the question will not be repeated, but the concepts, no, it will be repeated. So already we learned this inclusive teaching. Now it has been repeated, right? Yes. Can you answer this? Which of the following statements explain the concept of inclusive teaching? Let me tell the answer. The answer is option D. So inclusive, yes, D is the right answer. Because inclusive teaching is something creating a learning environment that is equal to all, regardless of their financial background, religious background, linguistic background, and so on. Even their learning potential too. Okay, but also they will take care of their learning potential also. Next, 23rd question. A teacher gives a lot of positive and negative examples to support his or her presentations in the classroom. This will be related to which level of teaching? Autonomous development level, memory level, reflective. Okay, but that is not right. C, option C is right answer. Guru Lata, you are right. So why? Because only in in order to understand something, obviously the teacher will give examples, right? Positive or negative. As I did in today's class, I was just always asking you to imagine something. You see this and so on. So this is understanding level. Okay, always just note it down in your notebook. Memory level is least thoughtful teaching. We don't even allow the students to think even in this memory level of teaching. So in understanding level, they will think thoughtful teaching. In reflective level, it involves higher cognitive abilities. They will think upper thoughtful. They will think and they will also reflect. Okay, yes. Next you have this 22nd question. Which of the following set of statements best describes the nature and objectives of teaching? Indicate your answer by selecting from the code. Teaching and learning are integrally related. There is no difference between teaching and training. Concern of all teaching is to ensure some kind of transformation in students. All good teaching is formal in nature. A teacher is a senior person. Teaching is a social act, whereas learning is a personal act. I think we can. We will just discuss this question, and we will wind up the class. Okay. For the remaining questions, I will give you the answer. Yes, come on. You just guess. A. No. It is wrong. Okay, I will tell you why it is wrong. Option A, you have A, B and D, right? So teaching and learning are integrally related. So that is right. Okay, teaching and learning are integrally related. That is very much right. Then you have, there is no difference between teaching and training. This is wrong. Okay, it is not the objective of teaching. So there is obviously we have difference between teaching and training. Okay, because the both are very much different. So if I am teaching you, that is different. If I am training you, that is different. You could have attended conference and workshops, right? The difference like that. So after attending a workshop, you will be gaining hands-on practice in some particular field. But whereas in conference you won't. Similarly, teaching and training. So A is eliminated. Then you have this C, right? Concern of all teaching is to ensure some kind of transformation in students. This is right. And this is one of the objectives of teaching too. Then we have D. All good teaching is formal in nature. This is wrong. Not all good teaching is formal in nature. It can also be informal. Okay. Then we have a teacher is a senior person. This is also wrong. Okay. Then you have F. Teaching is a social act, whereas learning is a personal act. This is very much true. Teaching is a social act. You go to a classroom, a person is teaching. But learning, only the student as an individual takes interest, he or she can learn. So it is a personal act. So the answer for this is option C. A, C and F. Okay. So you just, for the remaining questions, I will just post the answers in